Xi Jinping recently made a trip to Serbia to finalize a declaration on building a Sino-Serbian community for a shared future, aimed at fostering a strategic partnership. However, the appealing terminology used in the agreement should not distract from the underlying motives and potential adverse effects of such an alliance. For instance, Bangladesh's experience provides a cautionary tale. Several years ago, Bangladesh bought many 159G tanks from China, celebrating their affordability and superior performance. Yet, in a disturbing event this April, one of these tanks malfunctioned catastrophically during a test, leading to the death of a crew member and serious injuries to others. Upon this incident, both the Chinese and Bangladeshi military swiftly moved to lock down information, attempting to hide the actual circumstances of the failure. However, leaked intelligence revealed significant design flaws and issues with the tank's recoil system. Specifically, the breech block failed to seal correctly, allowing hot gases to escape and critically damaging the tank, injuring personnel. Moreover, the protective panels, made of a substandard aluminum alloy, offered inadequate protection to the tank crew. Subsequent Chinese reports unjustly attributed the mishap to the quality of Pakistani ammunition and the actions of the Bangladeshi crew. Yet, detailed analyses from the incident reports pointed clearly to inherent flaws in the tank's design, particularly the breech block mechanism. In this specific incident, the breech block was misaligned by 152 mm, causing a jam in the system that prevented the ejection of the spent shell casing. This misalignment prevented the breech from sealing correctly for the next shot, resulting in a dangerous release of high-pressure gas into the tank, severely burning the crew members. Additionally, the 59G tank lacked essential safety features that would halt operations if the firing system failed, a significant oversight in its design that directly contributed to the accident. This unfortunate event underlines the risks involved when military equipment does not meet safety standards, highlighting the broader implications of international military agreements that may prioritize political alliances over the safety and reliability of the equipment provided. The crew of the tank was meant to be safeguarded by armored panels. Unfortunately, the 59G model used a weaker type of aluminum alloy for its panels, far inferior to the alloy steel used in Western tanks. Worse still, during the incident, these already inadequate panels were removed, leaving the crew vulnerable. The 59G tank showed significant flaws in its ability to seal properly, in the durability of its critical components, and in overall safety measures. These deficiencies highlight serious quality and reliability issues with Chinese military hardware, which led to this tragedy that could have been avoided. In response to the incident, Chinese authorities blamed the ammunition from Pakistan ordnance factories (POF), or claimed that errors by the Bangladeshi soldiers were at fault. They suggested that poor ammunition quality might have caused the tank's recoil system to fail or that the soldiers operated the equipment improperly. However, since the Bangladeshi crew members involved were either deceased or severely injured, they couldn't dispute these accusations, making it hard to verify the accuracy of China's claims. POF, a well-established military manufacturer used by several countries including Pakistan, would likely encounter problems domestically first if there were any genuine issues with their ammunition, but no such reports have emerged. Additionally, the UK, recognizing the quality, has heavily used POF ammunition for Ukraine, and no problems have been reported there either. This suggests that the problem does not lie with the ammunition but rather with the design of the Chinese tank itself. The UK's rigorous military quality standards and its decision to source ammunition from Pakistan to support its allies underscore a recognition of the ammunition's reliability. Similarly, the Ukrainian military has reported no issues with this Pakistani-made ammunition. Ideally, a tank's recoil system should be engineered to handle unexpected circumstances, such as shell deformation or damage, with a degree of fault tolerance. If a malfunction arises solely from shell quality causing a recoil system failure, it indicates a design flaw in the tank, rather than a problem with the ammunition itself. The technical details of this incident are kept from most officials in Bangladesh and many in China, as the Chinese military and defense authorities restrict such sensitive data to a very limited circle of high-ranking officials, leaving even major regional commanders in the dark. This secrecy highlights the lengths to which the Chinese attempt to obscure the incident. However, the fact that this information was leaked to the media implies that someone within the Chinese system, disenchanted with the regime, is seeking a way out by exposing the truth. The Chinese military industry has long depended on reverse engineering and copying technologies from advanced foreign weapons, aiming to replicate their design and function. This practice often backfires as Chinese engineers may replicate without fully understanding the core principles behind the designs, leading to unintended issues when attempting to enhance these weapons. The process of weapon development is complex and multidisciplinary, requiring thorough knowledge in mechanics, materials, and engineering processes, areas where there is a noticeable deficiency among Chinese military-industrial personnel. This lack of expertise is a major reason for the observed decline in the quality of Chinese military hardware. Additionally, the selection of materials and control of manufacturing processes are critical, with even slight variations potentially having a significant impact on the performance and reliability of the final product. For example, slight discrepancies in the material composition or the parameters of heat treatments can reduce the strength, durability, or wear resistance of crucial parts like gun barrels and bolts, leading to malfunctions or premature failures. China's foundational industries, such as those producing high-quality special steel and high-strength aluminum alloys, have not reached the technical levels necessary to meet stringent specifications without relying on imports. With increasing Western sanctions, this reliance on foreign materials has become a significant vulnerability, further degrading the quality of Chinese military products. In recent years, as international sanctions have tightened, China's military industry has turned to local materials, compromising the quality of its products. The government presents these products as national triumphs, showcasing precisely machined components at exhibitions. These samples, however, are cherry-picked for their exceptional quality and do not reflect the average production quality, which often fails to meet these high standards. The underlying issue is the widespread corruption within China's military production sector. High-ranking officials often treat arms procurement as an opportunity to enrich themselves, opting for the cheapest solutions to maximize personal gain and overlooking essential processes such as design refinement and thorough testing. This corruption trickles down to lower levels, where factory inspectors collude with manufacturers, overlooking flaws and accepting subpar materials. For example, the 59G tank debacle in Bangladesh, which damaged the morale of the Chinese military, underscores these issues. Despite having 7,500 operators for 25 of these tanks, 2 of the 6 newly delivered tanks in 2022 were defective. This highlights the inherent unreliability of a system that should be dependable, given its heritage in the established 59 series. The incident also showcased China's habit of deflecting responsibility. After a catastrophic failure of a 59G tank led to fatalities and severe injuries, Chinese and Bangladeshi military leaders were quick to fault Pakistani-made ammunition and purported errors by Bangladeshi operators. This tactic is part of a broader strategy by China to conceal the shortcomings of its military exports, which continue to be sold internationally despite their known issues. Unlike the United States, which maintains a network of overt military bases worldwide, China's strategy for global military influence involves the covert deployment of arms and loans to strategically important nations without establishing visible bases. This approach ostensibly promotes a partnership of mutual destiny but often leaves these countries indebted and dependent on China. The alliance between China and Russia aims to extend their influence over smaller nations, which often find themselves disproportionately burdened by these partnerships. In conflicts like Syria, for example, Russia has used Iranian ground forces to shoulder the brunt of the fighting, preserving its resources while advancing its strategic interests. As the economic power of China and Russia begins to diminish, these smaller nations are starting to question their roles and commitments within this alliance. Influenced by more appealing offers from the West, they are increasingly doubtful of the benefits of staying aligned with China and Russia. This shift is causing internal tensions within the alliance, exposing its exploitative foundation and the fragile nature of its supposed shared destiny. We still remembered that China's influence extends across nations like Egypt, Algeria, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan, which now serve as pivotal transit points for Chinese military aid to Russia. A significant meeting between China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi and leaders from Egypt and Algeria in 2021 likely relates to these strategic arrangements. Additionally, South Africa and its neighbors play crucial roles in this network, where South Africa's Paramount Group, known for armored vehicles, has partnered with Kazakhstan to supply military gear to Russia. Due to its investments and control over local arms factories, China has significant sway in South Africa, utilizing resources from allies like Uganda and Zimbabwe to supply low-cost raw materials. South Africa's neutral international stance and its history as a Commonwealth nation make it an ideal conduit for evading Western surveillance, particularly in military support. China's backing for Russia was evident just 4 days after the Ukraine war erupted when the Chinese firm HEM 999 supplied 2 helicopters to Russia. Additionally, Tianhuang Aviation delivered 4 Airbus helicopters to Russia's Ural Helicopter Company, which supports the Russian National Guard in Ukraine. Despite appearing commercial, these helicopters are crucial to Russia's military campaigns. The assistance extends to unmanned aerial vehicles (UAVs). Mulfar Global, an open-source research organization, reported that a company in Shantou, China, shipped 1,000 drones to Russia shortly before the conflict began. While advertised as toys, these drones serve military purposes, including reconnaissance and potentially offensive operations. Notably, small drones from China's DJI are also widely employed for military surveillance and deploying small bombs, often shipped through regions friendly to Russia under the guise of civilian products. In the metal materials sector, China's support is equally vital. In 2022, China exported $18 million worth of titanium alloy to Russia, nearly doubling the previous year's figure. These materials are crucial for Russian anti-aircraft systems and aircraft maintenance operations. Furthermore, China has supplied magnesium alloy essential for manufacturing long-range bombers used by Russia in Ukraine. The use of optical sights from China has surged, with significant shipments to over 50 Russian companies, doubling the previous import value to $2.5 million. These sights, though listed for hunting, are applicable to military firearms. This pattern of covert military support is echoed in the exports of turbojet engines and radar-guided missile navigation systems, often routed through third countries like India and Costa Rica to reach Russia. In a startling revelation by the Washington Post, a confidential U.S. Department of Defense document exposed that the CCP's Central Military Commission had secretly ramped up lethal military aid to Russia, camouflaging it as civilian goods. This operation involved routing materials through various countries before assembly in Belarus, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan, and then covertly transferring them to Russia. This leak indicates potential breaches in the secrecy of Chinese strategic decisions, suggesting that some of Xi Jinping's critical military strategies might be known to Russia, possibly affecting the dynamics of trust and strategy between China and Russia.